Dr. Beach really sets up her classroom where you have to think about what you've read, synthesize across different articles or books that you've read, different researchers, and put that knowledge together for yourself. She just seems to know kind of where you are and where you need to go. So since she's experienced that, she can then explain to you, well, you know, in order to get a position at a college, you're going to need to have publications and presentations. And so she makes sure to get her graduate students on some of those so that they have that experience and they have that to say, yes, I've done that. I've done a research project. I've presented at the National Reading Conference. Words that always come to mind for me are always mentor, because she's there to, I mean, when I think of mentor, I think of guiding as well as modeling. And she's always there to model that she, you know, works hard and is involved in different projects. And so she models that for you as well as encourages you and finds opportunities for you to be involved in those same kinds of things.
It was an honor for me when my department came and said, we want to nominate you. And then actually to have a committee of people from across the college look and say, boy, she is a good teacher. She works well with students. While they may not be used to the kinds of teaching that I do, which is often very interactive and no, I'm not going to tell you the right thing to do, by the end of the class, I think they figured out that what I want to do is model what I think is important and help them think like a teacher, not like a student anymore. They need to be able to think on their own. They aren't going to have me forever. I felt the same way when I taught children. One of the most important things I taught kids to do was to think for themselves and be independent, whether they were in first grade or in fifth grade. Sometimes I see little pieces of myself, things that I know I did or said as they're working with kids, and sometimes I see them take what I taught them and make it so much better than whatever it is I did, and so it's kind of like going, all right, boy, I learned something new here, and I can have it to take back to my own students. It grounds me in realities. It reminds me what kids are like. It helps me to come back and talk about what I see. I walk in the door like I did this morning, hadn't been there for a couple of weeks, and the kids went, oh, Dr. Beach is here. Now, I'm not so sure they're happy to see me. They're more happy to see their letters. But somebody always comes up and gives me a hug, and somebody always tells me how pretty I am. And it doesn't really matter what I look like. It's like, all right, this is why I'm here. And then I can sit down with these kids. We were writing letters today. Kids are reading me books. And it is a reminder of what we have for the future. I learned something from my colleagues through conversations or teaching with my colleagues, and for that I will always be grateful for what they give to me that increases my knowledge of teaching and learning, who I am as a teacher and a learner, and I hope a researcher as well.